Welcome to Commonwealth Report with Senator Mike Waugh, a program that takes a look at state government issues that are important to the lives of people in York County.
Hi, I'm Senator Mike Waugh. Welcome to Commonwealth Report. Recently, a young York County woman shared with me information on the most common life-threatening genetic disease which many of you may never have heard of. It's called PKD. It stands for Polycystic Kidney Disease. Joining me today in the studio is that very same young woman, Miss Valen, who will not only be sharing information about the disease, but about her own experience as one who has PKD and who at the age of 23 has already needed a kidney transplant. Valen, welcome.
Thank you.
It's good to have you on our show this month, and I really look forward to this because we had an opportunity, you took the initiative to get in touch with me and actually helped make me aware and helped me better understand what PKD really is and what effect it has on not only your life but the lives of many other folks. And I'm glad you came to Harrisburg today, and I'm hoping that folks who are watching our show will go away from this short program with a much better understanding of what PKD is and how it affects an awful lot of people in our state. So how about this? Let's just start off with, can you tell me a little about PKD and what the disease is?
The simplest way to describe it for people to understand is polycystic means multiple cysts that completely cover both kidneys, and they multiply over time and increase in size and eventually deteriorate the function of the kidney. It's a simple way to describe it. It's a horrible disease that these cysts eventually lead to a person needing dialysis or kidney transplant, and at this time there's no cure. And your kidneys are the size of a fist, and my kidneys were huge. They were so huge that they had to cut me the whole way across my ribs to get both out and moved all my organs in different places, so they don't stay the normal size due to all the cysts.
I'm making an assumption, but if you'd clarify, I assume gone untreated, it leads to ultimately to death. Is that correct?
Absolutely, yes. If the patient is not willing to do dialysis and is not interested in a transplant, they will eventually die due to the kidney function decreasing.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, when you've told me and I've read the information that you provided me that it is a very common disease, but yet when you started to explain it to me and talk about it, quite frankly, I guess I was a bit naive. I thought I'd heard about all the nasty diseases out there, and I'm sure there are a lot of other people in the same situation. How many folks are actually affected? When you say common, how many? That's
what it just amazes me at the fact that nobody hardly even knows about it. It's 12.5 million people worldwide. 600,000 Americans. There's more than 20,000 people just in Pennsylvania, including myself and my whole mom's side of the family who has this disease, and you say PKD, and what's that? And as far as statistics go, it's more common than cystic fibrosis, muscular dystrophy, hemophilia, sickle cell anemia, and Down syndrome combined. All of those diseases, I've said all of them, you know all of them, I'm sure everybody else has heard of all of them, and combined together, it's no one knows about PKD.
You mentioned that folks on your mother's side of the family. So the question then is it hereditary?
It is. It's a hereditary disease. In very small cases, it can be a unique gene mutation that can cause it where both parents could not have it. It's a very small percentage, but it's a hereditary disease, and they say when you have children, you have a 50% chance of passing it on. Unfortunately, in my case, everyone on my mother's side has been affected fully by the disease.
Is that the only way folks could contract it?
As far as I'm aware, besides a gene mutation or passing it on to your children, yes.
So for folks that have a history, there's a likelihood that they would be very aware and guarded in the event they have children and offspring.
Yes.
Okay. You're 23 years old. You've already had a kidney transplant. At what age were you diagnosed with PKD?
The age of 10. I was at a normal checkup at pediatrician and had blood pressure of 160/140, which is high blood pressure is a huge side effect and a sign of PKD. And obviously a 10-year-old female, that's alarming. Did an ultrasound, cyst polluted my kidneys, and I was diagnosed at 10.
Is that the average around, you know, a young child 10 years of age or younger or older? Or?
The difficulty with this disease and finding a cure is every case seems to be different. And that is so hard to then study a disease like this where everyone seems to be affected differently. My mom wasn't diagnosed till around 20. My brother wasn't until he was in his 20s. I have a man in my chapter who's 70-some, and he's doing great. Why I was diagnosed at 10 and have been dealing with horrible issues ever since then, it's hard to say.
So you were somewhat early in terms of when the disease actually takes hold of you? And
I actually was. There's two forms of this disease, dominant and recessive. I have the dominant form, which is supposed to affect you later on in life. They say 40s, 50s, later. There's a recessive form, which takes effect instantly, usually when you're born, and you can die at birth. Babies die at birth. And people often ask me, did you have the recessive form because of being affected at 10? But I didn't. I was told, don't worry about it till you're in your 40s or 50s, you'll be fine. And unfortunately, that wasn't the case.
Is there a clinic or hospital or a particular doctor that specializes this in our area? In the let's say Pennsylvania.
There's nephrologists, obviously, in Pennsylvania. Some of them are aware of PKD. Some of them aren't as much. I go to Hopkins University in Maryland. They study the gene all the time. They're fully aware of it, and I put a lot of trust in Hopkins. They do a lot of research. And then as far as the PKD Foundation helps as far as funding for that research that they do at Hopkins.
Tell us about the foundation.
The foundation is actually, headquarters is located in Kansas City, Missouri, and it's the only foundation in the world that's dedicated to funding for research and helping to find a cure for PKD and spreading awareness and helping others with the disease.
And there are state chapters of it's a national foundation.
Yeah, there's actually chapters all over the world. There's even in France, they have chapters. And their website is actually www.pkdcure.org, in case anyone's interested. Information, updates on clinical trials that they're doing, and there's local chapters in about every state where people can go to for support.
And you're actively involved.
I am,
with
yes.
not only the local chapter, but the national.
I am.
Tell us about that.
I started in March of '03. I came across the foundation website because when I was younger, I was told I wasn't going to be affected until later on in life, and I really didn't pursue even the fact of PKD.
Right.
So when I found out that there was local chapters, there was nothing going on in South Central PA, so I started a local chapter and made phone calls and set up meetings, and now I'm in the process of organizing my third walk.